You survived the concentration camps yourself?
Yes, yes. I've been in 5 prisons and 6 concentration camps, and 2 years in Auschwitz.
Surely it couldn't happen again.
Oh, surely it can happen again, yes. I'm afraid it all boils down to education, or the lack of education into the Holocaust, these past 48 years.
What should be done?
Well, there's only one way, through education. And if you're thinking in terms of the neo-Nazis, there's only one way, and that is to physically transport some of these people into Auschwitz and actually show them the sites and evidence of mass killings and tons of documentation.
You have agreed to come with us to film in Auschwitz. Why have you done that?
Because I feel very strongly about it, because I feel I could really convince these people that everything that happened is absolutely true, 100% true. And because I've been there such a long time, and I'm one of the few people still here today.
We are here today to do more than more, to do more even than remember. We are here today to bear witness to the world that we must never grant the forces of death a victory over the God of life. And because the world so desperately wanted to forget the Holocaust, killing and torture and racial wars and ethnic cleansing are happening today to our humiliation and our shame. All of us together must resist evil in the name of the God of life. Amen.
Are you a typical member of the British National Party?
Well, I say I am, firstly, within the British National Party, a British racial nationalist, but my own tendencies certainly lean towards those of National Socialism. In Britain and in Europe and anywhere there is a white man standing, the ultimate threat is basically the genocide of the race, the ultimate extinction of the white race. And I say, as far as I'm concerned, there's no wishy-washy things about it. That is ultimately what we are trying to prevent, and ultimately what will happen if the British National Party or similar groupings are unsuccessful.
Genocide?
Yes, genocide through race mixing.
Wussten Sie, dass Adolf Hitler hier in diesem Obdachlosenasyl gewohnt hat?
Ja, ist aber schon lange her.
Schon lange her?
Ja, ist schon lange her. Ich wohne auch da jetzt, ja. Ich bin aber nicht unter Dritt, das ist auch schon 50 Jahre her. Der hat einen Fehler gemacht.
Ja, aber wie würden Sie reden, wenn wir heute den Krieg gewonnen hätten? Das ist,
ich war bei der DO, ich war ein Bauer.
ja.
Ich war 9 bis 11 Jahre dabei. Ich habe mein Parteiabzeichen müssen tragen, ja. Und habe es nicht gehabt, habe ich müssen in ein Häuser bleiben. Als Kinder haben sie uns schon erzogen, dass die Leute umbringen dann. Ja. Ja, was ich sage nicht.
Heute
Ich sage Ihnen das.
Hätte niemand
Das ist eine Tatsache.
Das ist viel besser.
Ich weiß das, was. Heute sind wir besser. Nein, jetzt sind wir nicht besser da. Unsere Jugend ist vertrudelt. Heute traut sich gar nicht mehr auf die Gassen gehen, weil unsere Jugend vertrudelt ist. Ich sage Ihnen das, wie es ist. Ja,
Ja, aber.
das mache ich nicht. Mach ich nicht.
Also, danke.
Ja, glauben Sie mir's.
Nein.
Was?
Ja,
Eine eigene anschauen.
Ladies and gentlemen, attention please. This is a call for the pupils of Holyrood Secondary School in Glasgow. Will all pupils please assemble at the information desk on deck 6? Thank you.
Have you got a girlfriend?
Not at the moment, unfortunately, but believe me, I'm heterosexual, man.
Will you get married?
Oh, I certainly will get married. If anybody will have me, and I'll certainly have children. Because I believe that the procreation of the race is an ultimate. There's no use me bawling and shouting about the preservation of the race if I don't believe in the procreation of the race.
What are those you've got there?
Well, what I have here is basically a selection of racial nationalist material which is available in Britain just now. The first things I've got is actually British National Party literature. This here is a British National Party publication. It is the British Nationalist, and this is actually the voice of the BNP on the street. This is what we sell at street corners, we sell at football matches, etc. And we hopefully sell to some friends. The next issue here is it's a tongue-in-cheek look at British nationalism. It's a publication called Thorwood. It's produced by a group called Resurgam. And it's basically a tongue-in-cheek look at British nationalists on a very serious subject. Inside it, they say it's jokes and cartoons and how to spot a lefty, etc. But it's actually got quite a wide circulation. A couple of other issues I got here is etc. stuff I get from America. This is a thing called here, which experts lower Holocaust numbers. This is a more revisionist type magazine.
If you read some of this stuff, like the one about the Holocaust, it's terrifying what it says in there. Those are some of the most dangerous ideas I have ever read.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, history is not dangerous. What do you call it? I believe...
Lies are dangerous.
Well, certainly are. And for the last 50 years, lies have been perpetrated on the German people. I'm not saying that Jews didn't suffer, not at all. That'd be stupid. But what I am saying is there's certainly no orchestrated campaign for a genocide of the Jewish race. There's no actually no proof for that at all. And I've said it previously, and I'll repeat it myself. The Holocaust has more holes in it than I've seen Nisbet's vest.
Will you come with us and meet someone and discuss your politics?
Yeah, I come and meet everything.
Would you be prepared to discuss your politics and your revisionism with a Jewish historian?
That's also, but you must excuse my bad English.
Ich bin Charlotte Täuber und lehre Politikwissenschaft an der Universität Wien.
Ich bin Gerhard Endres und bin also ein Mitglied der Volkspartei außerparlamentarischen Opposition. Von dem Anführer Gottfried Küssel derzeit in Haft, deswegen seiner politischen Gesinnung.
Mhm. Aber sind Sie hauptamtlich Politiker, oder?
Es gibt bei uns keine hauptamtlichen Politiker, weil wir also nicht die finanziellen Mittel haben, hauptamtlich.
Is it possible for you to speak English, or is it difficult?
I can speak English. My English is maybe not so good as yours, but...
no, I lived for 25 years in America, so...
32 years, yeah, I think.
Here in German, we are called mass murders. We are called mass murders.
We had a propensity for mass murder and thought it was a great thing, huh?
No, I don't think.
You don't hear the voices. They were proud of that. And they were proud to say, ha, we got really rid of the Jews. And there are people now who say, what a pity they didn't get all of them. I was on the St. Stephen's Square in '86, and in 1.5 hours, I heard 49 times, what a pity that Hitler forgot about you.
Yeah, when I see my comrades in jail,
yeah.
And when I see Egon Baumgartner was a 64-old man who was sent in jail for little stickers with a swastika and died there. Then I can understand when
but what
comrades
does such
said,
an old idiot do putting swastika stickers?
It's not an old idiot. This was an idealist who loved his own people.
With a swastika?
Yeah, it's a old.
After what had been done under the banner of the swastika?
Yeah, no, okay. Members of the NKVD were mostly Jews.
Why do you have that hang up with Jews?
Because
I mean,
they built a secret government here in Germany.
But you see, these conspiracy theories are really just make life hard for you, because
I can shut up and live, but I will not shut up.
But why should you live with such a sad delusion?
Mesdames, Messieurs, dans quelques instants, nous arriverons à Paris Nord. Paris Nord sera le terminus de ce train. Nous espérons vous effectuer un agréable voyage. Assurons les descentes de l'avion à votre place. Paris Nord ici, Paris Nord, gare terminus.
Are you a violent man?
Sometimes. When I've been aggressed, I've been very violent. But when I must defend myself, my friends, I can't be very violent.
Hello, I'm very glad to meet you.
And yourself.
When did you arrive?
I arrived last night from London.
First time you come to Paris?
No, I've been to Paris quite a few times before.
Ewart da.
Na?
Stimmt her, was sagt der?
Gute Reise gehabt?
Mr. Outans, would you like to tell us who you are?
Yeah, my name is Ewald Outans. I am somebody who works in Munich in public relations and free journalism. My political views are kind of views which have been forbidden in 1945 by the Allied forces. I feel myself in a kind of tradition to people who lost the war. I do not feel responsible for bad things, but I think that there's a lot of good solutions which should have been taken over for the future. I am living in 1993 now in a world which politically totally is going the wrong way. So I try to offer people new beliefs, new thinking, and I try to confrontate people with thinking which is really unusual to them. And I try to prove if democracy it can exist or not. And I personally figured already out that it cannot exist because of the discrimination against myself, just considering me as a national socialist thinking person. Racist means being proud of what you are and very much accept and being fascinated about what other people are.
And you are a racist?
I'm a racist, absolutely.
And an anti-Semite?
And an anti-Semite, yeah.
I don't know what you're saying, but in my opinion, it's not possible to have such beliefs as ours and to stay idle. I felt compelled to do something, to become an activist, you know?
Yeah. But if, as we have done, you know these things, if you do not act, as far as I'm concerned, we are more to blame than anybody because we know the answers.
Yes.
So if we don't do it, we're actually traitors to our race.
Absolutely. You know, the Japanese writer Mishima once said, knowledge without action is obscene. And I agree.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you know the truth, you have to spread it.
Oh, no. Certainly the case.
The one thing what very much interests me is that Hitler is a man who proved that it is possible by the strength of will to get an incredible high power in a very short time. The problem of foreigners in Germany means a bigger and bigger raising foreign community like you have it today with black communities, for example, in New York, in London, in Amsterdam, and wherever, you know? And this means heat, because cultures are crashing together. There is just one way, theirs or ours. And we have to find the point of view how we want to have it, right? And I prefer sitting in a beer garden and having my nice beer and having my music. And I don't want some people with spears and rap music crashing through the beer garden. And go in the cities, go and look down there when they make their war dances and stuff. You know, go around with their hat, making their propaganda. I don't mind they having black racism, but I don't want it here, right? I don't want it here.
Well, we've come to Drancy, which is about a 20-minute train ride from Paris, from the Gare du Nord, which is one of the big stations in the city. And this is a typical northern Paris suburb, the sort of place you'd see just about everywhere. Most of these people are working class. And there's a very high element of immigrant workers here because obviously there's a lot of small industries. But what is very strange about Drancy itself and where we are at this very moment was that in 1940 it was a concentration camp, and throughout 1940 right up until 1944, nearly every Jew who was actually deported from France to Germany, where about 75,000 of them died, actually came through this camp. So the French people are don't very much like this place. I've got to say that quite truthfully, that most French people don't even want to know it exists. They pushed it out of their memory. And if it remains in people's memory, I suppose it's because it is as it is today, now inhabited by another group of people who many people consider should be expelled from France, deported elsewhere, or even interned in the philosophy of some movement.
Nobody is willing to send them in wagons like this one. to death camps, or we don't want to kill anybody. We just want them to go back home.
Well, yes, okay, so you made it difficult for them to stay, but they still want to stay. How are you going to make them go back home? We're not talking about even the Jews at that time, the immigrant Jews, the new Jews, those who weren't French. There were only about 150,000 in 1940. We're talking now a population of 3 million minimum, or maybe 6 or 8 million if you believe some estimates. How do you make these people go home? If you introduce laws, you're going to use the army.
If necessary, yes.
There's no room for Mr. Nice Guys or Mr. Compassion and that. When your race and nation's at stake, there's nothing else matters.
So violence in your case would be justified?
No,
violence
I never said violence would be justified.
Well, it seems to be that the proof of history is that in the end you have to use violence to induce this situation you want, to force people to go somewhere they don't want to go. Here we're talking about this ethnic business that you're talking about. Yeah. The Nazis, who were Germans, hated these Jews. They thought that the only way to get rid of them was by a final solution, which we know was the industrial murder of Jews.
No, we don't.
Oh, yes, we do. No. Anyway, you don't agree either. I know that in France the laws are very strict on this subject, and you're not allowed to deny the Holocaust on the pain of a court case. I mean, this is the same problem we have. If the evidence comes from the Nazis themselves, why deny it? I mean, it can't be invented evidence because it comes from the Nazis and it's signed by the Nazis, and there's no Nazis I know who ever denied it.
Deutschland, Deutschland, über alles, über alles in der Welt. Denn es ist Schutz und Schutze, will alles zusammenhält. Von der Mast bis an die Lehre, von der Welt bis an die Welt. Deutsche Frauen, deutsche Treue, deutscher Wein und deutscher Sang.
Tell me how you feel.
Pretty good. It's a kind of inside orgasm.
Inside orgasm?
Was ist in dieser Stadt zur Kristallnacht passiert, zur sogenannten?
Die Kristallnacht war furchtbar. Diese ganze Gegend hier wurde, die Geschäfte zertrümmert. Hier befanden sich für jüdische Geschäfte, koscherer Mittagstisch, schlechterer und alles. Das wurde alles zertrümmert und beraubt. Und vor allen Dingen dort hinten, in der Mühlenstraße, befanden sich einige exklusive Einrichtungen, wie zum Beispiel Gold- und Silberwaren. Und ich musste leider dort zusehen, also mehr konnte ich ja nicht machen, wie man dort die Scheiben zerschlagen hat und die Banditen sich das wertvolle Gold und Silber alles in der Tasche steckten. Obwohl es von der Gestapo eine Weisung gab, es darf nicht geraubt werden.
Was ist übrig geblieben von der jüdischen Gemeinde, von der jüdischen Gemeinschaft nach dem Krieg?
Es ist nicht viel, zumindest also in diesem Teil sehr wenig. Ich weiß, dass wir hier etwa 160 jüdische Bürger noch hatten, die offiziell in der Gemeinde gemeldet waren. Es gab natürlich auch mehr, die nicht der Gemeinde angehörten, aber es waren sehr, sehr wenig jüdische Menschen. Diese Ecke war ja hier vollkommen zerschlagen. Diese Häuser hier und da drüben, die sind alle neu entstanden, sind alle wieder aufgebaut worden, um die Menschen unterzubringen. Und mit der Einheit, die hergestellt wurde, ist Berlin natürlich im Gesamten mehr angewachsen an jüdischen Menschen. Aber niemals so viel, wie wir vorher hatten. Wenn wir uns überlegen, dass in der großen Hamburger Straße die Sammelstelle der jüdischen Menschen, die von da aus weitergeschickt wurden, alleine 55.000 Juden verschleppt wurden in die KZs nach Auschwitz, nach Theresienstadt, nach Treblinka und anderen, kann man sich vorstellen, was hier an einer großen Anzahl von jüdischen Menschen wohnten.
Na, Sie sind bereit, mit jungen Neonazis zu reden und auch mit den beiden, die wir hier für unseren Film haben. Was würden Sie denen sagen?
Ich würde fragen, was Sie denken, was Sie sich vorstellen und würde mich über diese Dinge mit Ihnen unterhalten. Ich weiß ja nicht, welche Meinung Sie haben. Muss man abwarten, nicht?
Why are you refusing to talk to Mr. Munter?
I'm not actually refusing to talk to him.
Yes, you are.
What he asked me was that he wants me to explain what I believe in. I don't see that I should need to explain to him what I believe at all.
But you're refusing to talk to him?
He doesn't count. Only people I'm interested in speaking to are people who I believe are susceptible to the British National Party or British nationalist message. I don't need to speak to the Jew about it.
Mr. Munter is a nice, friendly old man. Can you not just respond to him as that rather than some kind of stupid racial category?
He may be your friend, certainly isn't mine now.
This will make you look very bad to people. They'll be watching this and just think he's a bigot that he won't talk to this man.
Maybe that's the case, but it doesn't really say I need to explain myself to him.
Hi, how are you?
Nice to meet you.
Okay. Nice to meet you.
So was the parade good?
Yeah, they tried to attack us, and with one jump on the wall, and I held him on the ears, but they never jumped on the wall.
Yeah. It seems like the Reds everywhere in Europe are always the same. They like to come in big numbers, but they don't like to stand and fight. Doesn't matter at all.
Disgusting.
So when did you leave last night? Overnight?
Yeah, in the evening, 10 o'clock, yeah. We had a wedding last night.
Wedding?
Yesterday, yeah.
Two of you?
My ex, no, my ex-manager of my office, my marriage, his wife, officially now.
So did you have some beers, huh?
Pardon?
Did you have some beers then?
No, the night before.
The night before,
yeah.
Us too.
Wedding doesn't mean drinking in Germany.
Does it not?
No.
I'm afraid in Scotland it does.
Father's wedding. Okay, so what are we doing?
I don't know what our plans are.
You don't know yet.
Go
Go for a walk.
Tonight we're going to take a train to Auschwitz. Tonight? Will you come with us?
Certainly, no problems.
Will you come with us?
Why not?
Never been to Poland before.
Tonight we plan to go to Auschwitz. Will you come with us?
Yeah, why not? If you're paid. Yeah, sure. Sure. So we're going to go to Auschwitz. Okay.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
I am Marian Turski. Hello.
Hello.
Marian
Hello,
Turski. Well, I think, gentlemen, that I want to tell you why I was convinced to come to have this talk. Of course, I was told that you were, were your positions, and of course my position is a little else, opposite, particularly when I am tattooed, you see. Well,
yeah.
I am bij 1908. And matter of fact, I think it was a duty of mine to meet people like you because I have a daughter in your age, probably in your age. And I don't think we should so much speak about the past.
Exactly. Very good. I can absolutely come along with that.
If I am really sometimes recalling the past is only in order to prevent what is going on, well...
No, yeah, sure, right. I mean, for you it must be very strange to meet people, young people, who have the, for you, rudeness coming there and saying we do not believe in the Holocaust, we do not believe in gas chambers, we do not think that this what is told to us in school is truth, but it's propaganda. It must be very hard for you, I know, it must be very rude for you.
Well, I'll tell you, it is not hard for you. It is a little bit peculiar.
Yeah.
It's peculiar because if I meet a broad-minded man, and you seem to be broad-minded, it is peculiar that you deny, well, facts. Of course, you can ask me, have you seen the gas chamber? And I will tell you, no, I haven't.
Yeah, because they say the ones who saw it get killed.
Because I was only a inmate in the street, I would say, low ranked, very young. I had no position. I was not in the fireman. I was not in Canada. I was not in Revier. I was not in Schonung. I was not. Well, I was not in Zonde. So I couldn't be there.
Yeah.
But I came to Auschwitz with my mother, with my father, and with my little brother. My mother survived, and my brother and my father disappeared the same day. How did they disappear? Look,
In my life, I had also in the ghetto foods very many friends, my mates, my classmates, some other people who were together with me. And they round up.
Mm-hmm.
And then they disappear.
Yeah. Well, disappearances...
Have you an explanation to the disappearance?
Yeah, sure.
Have you?
If I wouldn't have explanations, I wouldn't mistrust official history writing.
So what is your explanation for the disappearance of my father, of my brother, of all those my friends?
Okay, I of course cannot explain the disappearing of your father or your brother because I don't know the details and the facts.
They were gas.
I don't believe that.
You don't believe it?
Yeah, I don't believe that.
So what happened to them?
I don't know. We have to find out. We have to work it out. I tell you what my problem is. If I in Germany say I'm 27 years old, I did not live there, I don't know. Just this. I'm already committing a crime.
Do you believe that the Earth is surrounding the Sun? Is making a circle around the Sun? Have you proved it?
Even though there were millions who denied it before, and there were people killed for saying
well,
this is not true.
Well, this is true. But look, if we are people little bit educated, we cannot prove everything. You told me that you didn't believe in gas camera. Well, incidentally, it was, you know, usually in the correspondence, they didn't use the term gas. It was Leichenkeller, Leichenkammer, and so on.
In Germany we always name things like they are. We call it Leichenkellers, and gas chambers.
But I brought for you, for your information, a Xerox, and when you will be in Auschwitz, you can ask them to see the genuine. Here you have, where it is used once, Gaskammer.
You see?
Yeah, I can give you a little bit.
Can I really see this paper for 1 second?
Well, I'll give you here.
Oh, very nice. Oh, it's even bigger. Okay, this
You can get it in Auschwitz also.
Are you nervous?
No. Should I be?
They're very convinced people.
Oh, well, I don't for 1 minute think we're going to convince them. I don't think they believe what they're saying anyway. I think they're just doing it because to them it's such a marvelous income. The Holocaust has been a wonderful thing for them, hasn't it? One's got Porsche and he runs around the world and he's got a good time. He really doesn't know how else to earn his living, does he? Oh, it's a marvelous way to earn your living, isn't it? If you have no other profession, all you've got to do is make up a few stories. So we've come to give them a history lesson, shall we say, right? They probably won't believe. Oh, I think they will believe. They know it's here. They just, you know, make believe as far as they're concerned, I think.
At the end of your book, you made a strange comment, which is you feel as if you belong here in some way. What did you mean by that?
Yes. Oh, because I feel I've never been away from this place. So when I come in here, it's just like, sorry to say, but it's just like coming home, isn't it? You know, I know every little bit of ground here. But of course I see it differently. I don't see it the way it is today. I thought of 4 people. Hello.
Kitty Hart-Moxon.
Hello, hello, hello.
This is
Hello.
Eric Sausset from Paris, Stephen Cartwright from Glasgow, and Ewald Althans.
Ah, hello. How are you?
Hi.
Ah, well, it's very nice to meet some phony Nazis because I've met so many real Nazis, so it's very nice to see the new Nazis.
New Nazis,
Huh?
not phony Nazis.
Well, I call them phony Nazis. You call them the new Nazis. Nice to meet you.
If you call me a phony Nazi, I'm not interested in conversation
All
anymore.
right, the
It's
new
already in
Nazi.
bingo.
That's fine. New Nazi is good
know?
enough for me. Great. All right. Now, all I want to do is to give you just a little lesson in history, which is because you know your history, which you know differently. And I know history slightly differently than you do. Because for simple reason, I wasn't here one day, and I wasn't here 1 month, and I wasn't here 1 year, but I was here almost 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
So I know the place pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
And my records, for your information, in the archives is actually listed the date of my arrival and my block transport.
Mm-hmm.
And also you can go to 3 prisons in Germany, Bitterfeld, Halle and Dresden, where you find my prison records.
May I ask you what the purpose was for you imprisoned?
Yes, my purpose was to save my life, and I came into Germany to save my life from Poland. From Poland.
You're Jewish?
Yes.
Yes.
And I tried to save my life.
You joined the Communist Party or something there?
Communist?
Just asking.
Well, I was a schoolgirl at 13,
Mm-hmm.
so I hardly was a communist.
Okay.
I simply wanted to save my life
Mm-hmm.
because I was on the run from the ghettos.
Yeah.
Anyway,
because the Polish were very rough anti-Semites, right?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Sure, but I joined the Poles who were brought to Germany to work in the IG Farben in Bitterfeld, in the Aluminiumwerke. So I worked in the Aluminiumwerke, and every morning I said, Heil Hitler. Did you know? Heil Hitler.
Well, I don't care.
Well, I just tell
You
you.
said that.
Only I said, Heil Hitler.
I'd get 6 months prison if I would say this.
I said. Okay?
Yeah.
But they didn't hear it, of course. Anyway, cut a long story short, I was in prison and I was sentenced to Auschwitz in 1943, and I was brought in here with a prison transport from Dresden, 123 women, there were men as well.
So survived Dresden.
Pardon?
Because 1945, Dresden was bombed by the
wasn't there in
Allies.
1945.
Yeah. So you survived Dresden.
Oh, I wasn't there in 45.
The Allied killed.
Bombed, yes.
Killed tracks.
That was after. That was afterwards.
Always
After. But you have survived.
Yes.
Because you are here in Auschwitz
Yes.
and not in Dresden.
Good. That's good for me. Now, I came into Auschwitz, and that's my number. This is my number, actually, 99934. It's been in a bottle for many years because I haven't done anything to it. This was my mother's number. My number came from my arm, which I had removed for a very good reason. Well, many reasons, but this is my skull. But I had it removed because I thought I'll remove it out of my head.
I've heard all this 10,000 times.
But you haven't seen it here with a person.
I have seen it here. I've been here like 30 times.
Well, I mean, we're talking to the other chaps
been here
as
with
well.
survivors and
Okay?
stuff, so
But
I
I'm
don't
talking
have to
to the
listen
others
to this
as well.
anymore.
Okay?
Not,
I'm talking
anybody
to
wants to listen.
Well, you can go
It's
home.
not the basic thing for me.
No, okay, we're fine. You know what this building is? It's called the Blockführerstube. And Blockführerstube. And here stood the SS, and people went out to work from the women's camp. That's the men's camp. But I don't want to talk about how people survived here, okay? And how they lived here. I just want to tell you about the pure machinery of murder. So let's just come over here. The trains came in here. People were thrown out of the trains, and all their luggage was left. All the stuff was just left behind, okay?
Who cares today?
People came to work here from the Canada Commando, the men, and took all the belongings over to the Canada section, right? Then people were put up here and segregated, men on one side, women on the other side. Here stood the SS doctors and carried out the selections, okay? So 20% of people, sometimes 15% of young girls and young boys were allowed to come into the camp, okay?
I refuse to talk to you anymore.
No, don't talk. That's fine. You don't have to. You don't have to. Now, did you know there was a trial here in 1988? Did you know about the trial in Wuppertal?
Yeah, it's their
You do?
problem.
No problem. Your
propaganda.
problem.
If you said Hitler, die soll der Schlag treffen, he came to concentration camp, I can understand this. I said Bundespräsident Weizsäcker is an idiot, and I was in prison for that.
Did you,
so I
did
don't
you know
care.
in
Totally don't care.
1988 came Wunsch, Grönig, Hahn, Lawrence.
There's a Demjanjuk trial going on, packed with lies.
They all came.
Because there was
Right. They
This
all
is the new
came.
religion here.
Yes.
The anti-fascism is the new
Yes,
religion.
okay,
Yeah, exactly.
The Christian
Now then,
religion
let
is
me
there,
tell
and
you-
then the male.
Let me tell you about Wunsch. Where's the plan of Wunsch? I have got
Let
it.
me
I've
tell
got
you
the plan
about the
of Wunsch.
problems today.
Right? Oh, the problems today. Oh, we've got big problems today.
Yeah,
That's for you, it is a money-making enterprise,
for us, it's a
isn't it?
money-making.
Huh?
For us, it's a money-making.
How do you
We
enjoy
finance
your
mass
Porsche?
murdering of Palestinians in Israel. We are forced to
we
finance the
don't
Holocaust and Palestinians
The Holocaust has
by
been
Jewish
marvelous
lies. I'm
for
not
you.
interested in listening to
How
stuff
marvelous
anymore.
was the Holocaust for you? A money-making business for you, the Holocaust.
Yeah, I made so much money.
Of course, you run your Porsche cars. And who finances you, huh? Do you know the real Nazis that were here?
Yeah.
They don't want to come back. We've tried to bring them back. You know why they don't want to come back? Because they've learned their lesson and they know all about this and they
No,
they
because
don't, they
you
want to
took
forget.
90-year-old men, even in beds in the courthouses, and you hanged them.
That's not
like
true.
Altukovic and others.
What is with Ivan Demjanjuk?
I don't know about them. I'm not talking about them now. I'm talking to you
learn
about
history.
Weise, right?
Learn history. Oh my God, love me.
I was here, sleeping in here. I think we were about 200. We were quite well accommodated here. 200 and another 200. There were 400 of us in this particular work group. And there were windows here with a view straight onto the crematorium. And here we were lying on the grass. There was quite a good lawn here. And during the day we lay here and people were brought in here on foot, always on foot. And they were taken through this gate, and can you see the woods? That was absolutely swarming with people. Thousands of people were just sitting there, and children were playing, and mothers were looking after the children, and they didn't know that they were going into this crematorium. And I'll tell you that very often the children used to pick flowers. There were actually flowers growing. And some of the SS people here, they were absolutely furious when they saw children picking flowers. And often, not once, you saw them pick up a small child by its feet and actually smash its head against the crematorium wall in front of its mother, which is totally unnecessary because they were being killed anyway. All these people were waiting in groups to go in through the gate. Now they went in, and we were here. And then a few minutes after that, you saw a ladder. Well, there was an opening on the roof, and you saw one of the SS with a gas mask, and he was what was called a disinfector corps, belonging to the doctors, who'd worked out the amount of gas to kill these people. So he went up, threw the gas in, and came down quickly. Always. Pardon?
You saw all this?
I saw this not once, I saw this for 8 months. Every day, in, day out, okay? People went in, and then you heard a muffled sound, screams. It was muffled. You didn't hear it very loud, but it was muffled. And gradually it stopped, and then you saw the smoke. And not only did you see the smoke, but the whole thing was just a stench of burning flesh. And that you could smell for miles away. They smelled it up in the towns, you see. But we had it here, we were choking. And then you also saw wheelbarrows with ash being taken out. And that went on day in, day out. I was here from May 1944 until about the 11th or 12th of October 1944. All these months, this went on. Now, tell these chaps, the people went in and they didn't come out. Where are they? If you really thought about it too much, you would have committed suicide. And that was very easy because the fences were here. All you had to do is touch it. That was it. But somebody had to live to tell a tale.